Hi there, welcome to today's beauty tutorial for Image.ie. Today I'm going to do a basic face with a really bright colour pop lip. Very spring-like, really cool at the moment, and there's nothing like a bright hot pink lip to make you feel vibrant. After all of this wintry weather we've been having, this is something that's going to give you a big lift. So first of all, the foundation I'm going to use today is the YSL Le Teint Touche Éclat. An amazing foundation. I really love it. It suits my skin excellently. And the clever thing about these foundations is that they have two basic base tones. One is for a more pinky undertone and one is for a more yellow undertone, which is very clever because oftentimes in a lot of ranges the colours don't actually work for everybody. So within this you can choose your base tone and then choose the shade that is for you. Don't do this kind of dots all over the face, which I think a lot of people have tended to do. I don't even know where it came from in the first place. I think we all copied our mothers who copied their mothers before them, but that basically isn't the right technique. You can dot it around like this, but then one of the dots will start to dry and then it's starting to be too difficult to work with. But the easiest thing and the most important thing with foundation is really to start from the nose and work out, because if you suddenly have a lot on either your brush or your fingers, and you start applying it down here or up here on your forehead, you're going to run out of space, or you're going to run out of places where you can actually put it, and then you might get clogging and too much of a tide line around the edges. So if you start from the nose or the central panel and then work it out, it will just fade out towards the edges, and that is going to give you the best effect. Don't apply foundation over your actual lips because that will ultimately change the colour of the lip product that you're putting on at the end. So leave your lips their natural colour. It's a bit of a myth that it helps the colour to last longer on the lips. There's really no need. And when it comes to the eyes, just put a very light covering of your base over it. You don't need lots, and if you do put lots on there, that can result in your eyeshadow creasing and collecting up here in the socket, which you really don't want. So keep everything very light and sheer. Now, the next thing is concealer. I, for one, have pretty dark shadows underneath my eyes, so I use concealer under my eyes all the time. It's a good idea to have one for your eyes and one for the rest of your face, because they're actually dealing with different concerns. Underneath your eyes, you're dealing with shadow. On the face, you're dealing with pigmentation or spots or anything else that might arise, but they do different jobs. And underneath your eyes, as the skin is so fine and it tends to line, a heavy product is going to look obvious. So use one that's very sheer and that's a liquid. I love this one, the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. Since it was launched in the first place, I've been completely loyal to it. It's absolutely brilliant. Again, I feel that I'm really working it into the skin and it's not going to be sitting there. So I press around the eye area like this, taking care to get really into these points here are where most people are very dark. So concentrate it in there rather than right underneath the eye in a big circle. It's in here that really impacts on the darkness of your eye. I always use a powder, but quite a light one and quite an illuminating one. I don't like a very matte pressed powder. I think that it can just make your skin look a bit dry and it's quite aging. So you still want your skin to have a dewy, flattering effect. This is Les Beige by Chanel, one of their latest launches. It's called a Healthy Glow Powder, which means it has a tiny bit of colour. So it's adding a little bit of pep to your complexion. It's not actually a bronzer, so it's not that deeply pigmented. This is the shade 2, and I just dust it everywhere to set the foundation. If you find that your foundation is falling off after a few hours, or come lunchtime there's nothing left on your skin, it'll generally be a powder that will fix that for you. So find one that is the right kind of texture, not too matte, quite silky, and apply it all over and watch the difference. Now on the eyes, I'm going to go for a cream eyeshadow. Ultimately, I'm going to have this strong lip, so the eyes need to be very light and neutral, so that it looks modern and balanced. You don't want to overplay the eyes and overplay the lip, and then all of a sudden you look too made up and it's not appropriate. So you want to be able to do a nice neutral nude eye and a strong lip. Or the opposite. Nude lip and strong eye, up to you. So I'm using a Benefit cream eyeshadow here, which I love. It's called Birthday Suit. Just a tiny hint of shimmer and shine. They last for ages on the eye and are so easy to put on with your finger. Again, you can use a brush, completely up to you, but I think fingers are really easy to work with. Bring it all over the lid and all the way up to the socket. Now, next thing that I like to do is apply a little bit of eyeliner, very small, just along the top lashes here for definition. Everybody's eyes need a bit of definition, and more often than not, people tend to line underneath, which is far too much, and it has the effect of dragging your eyes down rather than making them look more open and awake. So I'm a huge fan of these Stila Smudge Stick waterproof eyeliners. When they're just applied over the top lash, they last for ages. They will not wear off, they will not smudge all day long. When you come to the end out here, I think it's nice to just lift it up slightly, but again, not a flick. That's another tutorial. Next thing is mascara. I really love the Maybelline Rocket Volume Mascara. I find this really, really good for volume and also length as well. It claims to just be volumizing, but I find it does both really, really well. And with mascara, get in as close as you can to the roots of the lashes and pull it all the way out. I tend not to load the lashes from above because it can actually close down your eyes and give the opposite effect of what you're looking for, which is wide open eyes. Next thing is the brows. Now, brows are huge at the moment, thanks to Cara Delevingne. Everyone is filling them out, filling them in, growing them. Thank goodness the days of over plucking them are over. I'm using the Tom Ford Brow Definer, which is an absolutely wonderful brow pencil. You can use shadows, you can use specific brow waxes, whatever it is that you think is good, but I really like this product. Next thing is a little bit of bronzer. I love the Chanel bronzing base. As you can see, nearly all gone. I contour the face with this and also add just a little bit of shade and a little bit of color. The foundation serves to blank out your face, so you're creating a blank canvas in effect. So this is putting the color back in where you actually want it to be. Put it underneath the cheekbones, at these 2 points of the forehead, down the nose, a little bit on the chin, and a slight bit down the neck. So it's in specific areas. Bronzer doesn't go all over. That's the mistake a lot of people can make, is just put it absolutely everywhere. So try not to do that. Next thing I'm going to use is a cream blusher. I love a cream blusher, again for a dewy look. I'm all about the dewy look. This is a Stila Illuminating Convertible Cheek Colour. And I dab a tiny bit just on the apples of the cheeks right here, which is quite a small area. You don't need to bring blusher all the way out here. It's not the 1980s anymore. We're just doing it here. And the last thing is the lip. I'm going to line slightly. This is a colour by MAC called Dervish, very soft pink. And when you're using a strong shade on the lip, you do need a bit of liner underneath to look after the edges of your lip. However, don't just do the line at the outside, because suddenly when the lipstick wears off, you'll be left with just a line. So sketch over the entire lip. Now I'm going to apply the Tom Ford lipstick in Aphrodisiac, which is one of my favourite big hot lips for this spring. I really love this lip colour. So pink and springy and much nicer than a red, I think, in the springtime. Really bright, and it just makes your skin look really vibrant, I think. So that's my spring colour pop look. I hope you like it. See you again soon.